Previously on Chat and Bother.
There was this one, he would come in and they all had their one way of doing things, right?
Okay.
So he would peer into the audience before he ever said a word. He just looked.
I can't.
Did he hit him with a low rumble?
Did he?
No, he didn't say a word, and he just stared.
Oh.
And then he started rubbing the sides.
Absolutely not.
He started rubbing the sides of the pulpit.
Not warming
and he would say, "You ready? Have thine own way, Lord. Have thine own way.
No.
Thou art the potter, I am the clay. Mold me, make me after thine will." You know, he would go through all that. And so we had nicknamed him Reverend Dracula because he wore a big cape. And it was red on the inside.
I can't.
It was black on the outside.
I thought I wasn't with the pimp. You had the literal Count Chocula at your church. Are you the one who starts the best conversations on Facebook, WhatsApp, or in the group chat? If so, this is the podcast for you. Hi, I'm Eva.
And I'm Don. And welcome to Chat and Bother. This is a 15-minute podcast where we start conversations and you and your circle finish them. So go ahead and share this episode with a friend or family member so they can listen to it and you can talk about it together.
Good morning.
And good morning.
So we have talked to you all before about working with our parents.
Yes.
What is the most ridiculous experience you have had on the job working with your parents?
There were two sort of life flash before your eye moments
Okay.
that happened on
I
the
can
job.
think of one. I hope you touch on that one because that one was not funny. I'm glad you're still alive, but it's funny.
The first one, so we would turn around houses. So like every summer, we'd flip some houses around for different investors. My dad, he was a master plumber by trade, but we did general contracting. So whether it was putting new windows in, drywall, or whatever, we take on the job. We didn't always have the right equipment to do the job, like scaffolding for doing a job that was outside. And so sometimes we would sort of lean out a window to get this or that.
That seems unsafe,
Yeah.
especially for a young person.
Yeah.
But I guess you're small enough. He could just hold you by the legs and just have you do what you got to do. Did he hold you by the legs?
Well, no, in this situation, he set me up to, told me what he wanted me to do in this specific room. And this was, I think we were doing something it was a window. I think I had to caulk a window. And he showed me how to do it. And then he went on to the other room and started working on something else. And I couldn't reach a specific spot. So I decided to try to be Spider-Man and lean out and try to reach it in a way that obviously is not OSHA compliant.
Something tells me workman's comp was not on the table for you.
No, I was
Okay.
about 3 stories up. So it was like this,
Oh, Jesus.
the third floor, leaning out of a third floor window. Whatever I was bracing my foot against, I was precariously perched and my foot slipped. Thank God I had one foot that was inside the window because I found myself falling and I braced myself with my foot going inside the window.
Like a clamp.
Kind of hooked the window. And that kept me from going down
3 stories.
3 stories and landing in the alley where nobody would have found me.
Well, eventually, I feel like your dad would have put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, like-
open window, missing kid, caulk gun on the ground.
Yeah, I did drop the caulk
Yeah,
gun.
he's gonna peep down there and be like, "Oh my!"
When it's between you and dropping the caulk gun
Caulk gun
gun
is
is down there. And in a moment like that, everything slows down. And so I braced myself, secured myself, and I'm,
all Miles Morales.
I swear my fingernails went into the bricks. But as soon as I realized, okay, I'm not going to die,
Did you
I
pee
still
a little
saw...
bit? I'd have pee-peed. I'd have tinkered.
I can't
right
guarantee
on.
I didn't.
I'd have
But
peed.
I saw the caulk gun go bouncing down up against the wall, and
3.
it hit the wall, and it bounced and then hit the fence that was...
That would have been you.
Yeah, so, and that's exactly what my head went...
I'd have been up against this thing.
So maybe
on the
that
fence.
wasn't a good idea to precariously perch myself up while dealing with chemicals and not having the right
Trying
equipment.
to be, oh, okay. Well, I did work with my dad every now and then. Not usually in his office. It was usually if I'd help cut the grass, I would help him build things. He had this perpetually evolving wagon that went on the back of the lawnmower. There was always something being built. I loved the smell of sawdust and all that kind of stuff, right? So
You was a wood shop girl.
I was a little bit of a wood shop girl. I'm going to hang out with my dad and build things and do things. And yeah. But as far as professional work, I could do stuff for my mom because you really just had to know your alphabet and your numbers in order because I filed charts.
Okay.
My dad is an attorney, which means you have to be a bit more precise. Did I own a typewriter? Yes.
Okay.
Should I have been typing legal documents?
Probably
No.
not. Were
No,
you
I
like
should not.
10?
I might have been 11, something like that. He thought that I was really smart just generally, right? So I should be able to look at this document and format another document similarly. It was horrid. It was so bad. There was so much whiteout. Like the kids don't know anything about whiteout.
Wow.
There was correction tape. There was whiteout. The parenthesis, like when you line up, those of you who have been sued, you know what I'm talking about. The things that line up on the side, they weren't lining up properly. I was trying to count spaces rather than using the little tab marker thing. It was just not good. And I guess his secretary couldn't come in that day, so he was going to see if I could do it. I worked in my mom's office all this time. Figured, why not? I'm going to borrow the kid. It went horribly wrong. Yeah, he wasn't on a deadline that couldn't be dealt with. He was like, get up.
You're fired?
Get up. I worked. That's the one and only time I worked for my dad.
Oh.
One time.
Oh.
I worked for my mom even after college. But my dad, you're one and done.
Wow.
You don't get new chances. That's it.
All I need is one shot.
All you get is one shot. And that was the end of that.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I didn't get a lot of opportunities.
No. Well, I mean, you had it. It just
I didn't get a lot of them. I got that one and I failed miserably.
Yeah. For me, the other time, it was in transition between jobs. At the time, my dad, his work vehicles weren't the sportiest.
Most reliable?
Most reliable,
They
yeah.
were, yeah.
So, there were some corners were cut in the purchasing of these vehicles.
Seat belts.
That one might have had a seatbelt, but the seatbelt wasn't the issue here. It was the door. So, weekends and during the summers, I'm always rocking with my pops, and we're going between two jobs. I think we finished one and was going over to another one. The door on this car had one of those latches, like a bolt that you lift up the thing and you slide it over, right? And
Wait.
Yeah. It wasn't like it didn't.
That doesn't go on a car.
No. It belongs like on a fence. Or,
On a fence or a
or an inside door.
Inside door
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
maybe
so-
one of those crawl space things?
Yeah,
You know the crawl
a
space?
latch. It was more of a latch than it was
Than
a deadbolt or anything like that. It was more like a latch.
Okay.
So it was positioned on the inside of the car, and you could lock the car from the inside on that side. I got tired of climbing in and out of his door, so I unlocked the latch and got in and out most of that day with that latch. But I forgot to lock the latch because it was still a little friction. So it was like, all right, well, it's tight enough. Well, he took a corner harder than I guess that door was ready to give on. That door swung wide open on a corner. He wasn't going fast, but it was enough G-force on that corner that me leaning on it swung that door wide open. My arm is still on the side of the door, and I am running alongside the door for a couple of steps till I jump back in. And my dad's face, like I could see his face like, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Yeah, he's going to see your
kid,
mom
yes,
she was
going to
take him
fillet
out.
him. So
he was going to get tooken.
yeah, so he slowed down gracefully so I could, get get my bearings and hop back in the car. Like he was shook.
Because his kid almost fell out the car. That would have you a little,
yeah.
A little upset.
Yeah.
If you saw your kid running next to the car.
So those two incidents, I mean, between me turning Spider-Man and then me turning into the Flash on the side of the car trying to run next to the car.
So while you had some possible physical damage, all of my damage was emotional.
Oh.
Yes, I went to work with my mom after college, after I graduated. I was her office manager.
Yeah.
I was coming in not knowing the dynamic of the office. So I was kind of learning and seeing what was going on. Because my degree was in business. She figured that I had something to contribute. So why not? So there was a young lady working for her who was always late. And she said to me one morning, Eva, if she is late, I want you to fire her.
Wait, how long were you there before you had to do this?
Fresh out of school. I don't think I was there a week or two.
Oh.
But I knew the girl was late all the time.
Yeah.
But I was like, please don't be late today. Today is not the day. She is not in the mood. And when I tell you she didn't explain, she didn't tell me how you fire someone. Because at this point, I'm 21?
Oh, wow.
Didn't explain to me, how do you actually fire someone? What do you do? No idea. So I'm looking at the clock like, please get here. Just get here. Please get here.
Come on.
Now, mind you, the woman's children were my mother's patients. Oh. When I tell you I can work for anybody. I can work for anybody. You hear me? I can work with this dude. I can work with or for anybody after this.
Wow.
I'm here praying that she gets there on time. Of course she's late. My mom is already seeing patients, and when she is seeing patients, she is laser focused. So I couldn't even be like, it was only 15 minutes. Are we gonna? No, there was no discussion. The door was closed. She'd already started her workday.
So you knew it was about.
I knew I had to do it. So I did it. And I told her, this is it. This is the end of it. And she starts to cry. And I'm like, okay then. Because, she's older than me. I'm like, what am I supposed to do here? What am I supposed to do? And I saw her husband, boyfriend, whoever, drop her off with all the little kids in the car.
Oh.
So she got dropped off, y'all. That's the point. Yeah, the little kids made you sad, but it's a lot. She got dropped off.
So what did you do?
I said, well, I don't know what to do at this point. So I went and did the worst possible thing that I could do, but I had to do something. I went and knocked on the door where my mom was seeing a patient. And she opened the door and looked at me in such a way that I should be dead today.
You should have folded.
I should have folded into myself and died. So she says, yes. I said, I did it, but she got dropped off. What do I do? She looked me dead in my optical sockets and she says, take her home. Oh. And closed the door. Now, I want y'all to know how awkward it is to fire someone and then put them in your vehicle, drive them to their home where their children are playing outside. Okay?
Hey, mommy, why are you home?
I didn't wait. I'm when I tell you I didn't wait to find out, I was like, it's okay.
This evil woman
just get out. Please get out.
Wow.
So yeah, now, did she get to come back to work at some point eventually, probably a year or so later? Yes, because my mom, while she is not the easiest to work with,
she had a big heart.
She got a big heart, and if somebody needs a job, needs work, she gave them a job.
Yeah.
She had just had enough of this particular young lady. I think the next time I saw her, she drove, my mom had a van where she would go pick up and drop off patients. So she was driving the van.
Okay.
And I think she actually let her take it use it for stuff.
Okay.
But I don't think she was late again.
You gonna learn this lesson today.
She gonna learn that today. And when I tell you...
So she taught 2 lessons in one. She
2
taught
lessons.
you.
Me, I don't ever want to be in this position again. Never, ever. And she learned you don't mistake the kindness for weakness. You better be on time. So,
Wow.
so yeah. So on that note...
I'm not trying to be late for work today.
Right? I gotta go to work. And I'm not firing anyone. Ooh, and listen, I've not fired anyone since. No, you did it.
Oh.
Wasn't me.
Wow.
Wasn't me. So, yes, I gotta go to work. I'm gonna be on time, and we will talk to you soon. Make sure you send this to a friend. Sharing is caring.
Make sure you subscribe.
Yes, subscribe, follow, download, all of that. All right? Bye.
Bye.
Next time on Chat and Bother. My dad is a bit of a wordsmith. Big words, fancy words. I too wanted to use big, fancy, and new words. And every time I did so, he found it so hilarious.
And there's 2 of them that I'm thinking.
Because you know what they are. So the fact that he knows them, my dad don't know how to let nothing go.
Thank you for joining us for Chat and Bother. Go ahead and like our Facebook page and share this episode with people that you want to chat with or just feel like bothering, or both. Visit our website, chatandbother.com, for our episode guide and other ways to connect with us. Take care.